Hello, I'm Bob Heltman. I'm a proud member of the Carolina Mountain Woodturners and the American Association of Woodturners, and I'm the fellow who is creating a bowl with a QR code on it. QR stands for Quick Response. Let me show you. Here's a beautiful little bowl out of Osage orange. This video will show you how it was made. And on the back you will see this strange little square QR code. By scanning that with my smartphone, it'll take me to a video on how this bowl was made. That's a new first. Alright, here we are. And we have a chunk here of wood. I forgot to mark it, but it looks like it could be Osage orange. And as you can see, I've used a compass to scribe the bowl, leaving a little room here for end grain chipping. And the next thing we're going to do is make a place in the back here to assure that the dead center has a good bite. So we're getting rid of any old bark and stuff that would get in the way of that. And then we want to mount this and be ready to turn. So we'll put in a steb center here and catch it up in the chuck of the jaws of the chuck like that. And we will mount this little compass point right on there, and then we look at it and make it sure that it's perpendicular to the lathe bed, and then we bring in the center. At this time we have an interesting problem. You can see where a branch came through, the wood rotted around the outside edge here. There's a deep chasm over in here too. And we have a similar problem on the outside over in this area here. So we're going to do something very unusual. We're going to fill this with copper dust from old keys that are milled at hardware stores and super glue, and that'll make an interesting little contrast in there. Okay, so here I have some copper filings. We'll put a spoonful in there. Try not to spill that. We'll scrape it around and fill these voids. Put the super glue there. We'll let that soak in a little bit. And we'll sprinkle a few more copper filings in the area and press them in. Make a nice big buildup here. Oh, speedy hardener here. And that'll make it set. Now we'll go around to the back. Put some more in the back here. And we could fill this with a similar or contrasting wood also. Wood dust, I should say. That would work also. Alright, now we've got all that done. And once again, try a few drops of super glue here. Now we can rechuck the bowl, and I made a red mark here to go with the opening in the vise so it goes back in the same place. And we can put this away and let that cure another minute, and then we'll sand it. We'll finish that off with some 320. If I can find it, here we are. And try a little 320 and then 400, and then we're ready to put a finish on it. And that is looking pretty splendid. So now we'll try the polyurethane finish this time. Watch as we put this oil on the wood. See it come out. Move all the way down to a couple hundred RPM here. And here goes the oil. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? We'll run it right around the edge a little bit, but we'll be finishing the back, so we'll just leave it doing well here. Now watch the inside. Isn't that spectacular? And we'll let that cure. Doesn't that look gorgeous though? Just look at that. How beautiful. Somebody's going to be very lucky. Okay, where we were yesterday, and the polyurethane is dried. You can see some beautiful grain here, chatoyancy. And if you look slowly, you'll see where the copper is shining through there from the key filings. And we see the grain contrast. So the next step is to mount this in reverse, and we'll use a vacuum chuck. Now here's what the vacuum chuck looks like. And it fits on, and there's a vacuum pump back here. So the next thing we'll do is make that change. We're going to take the bowl out now. You can see where I marked it here to fit into the same place. Here's the area that we filled. It needs to be sanded down and fixed. We need to finish out the bottom. Make sure this is sanded perfectly smooth, and then coated like we did here. So we'll set this here. We have this on lock, and we'll take this vise off carefully. And we'll put the vacuum chuck on. And we'll see we're using the same place. We'll mount it and hold it carefully while we move this in and start tight. Looks mounted. We'll unlock the thing and rotate it and see how it's doing. That looks good. And we should be ready to go here. Now I'm going to turn the vacuum on so you will hear it. The red ring and put a homemade piece of masonite with rubber on both sides, and that is holding. And then we'll position the bowl, and I've got plenty of pressure there. There's a little escaping through the hole here, but not enough to slow me down. So back this off, move the bowl into position. Start with the name of the bowl, the name of the wood. Good to keep your nose back when you're doing that. There's the letter O. Osage Orange, QR1, Bob Heltman, January 20 using. Here's the polyurethane. Really rub it in there. In fact, we could probably pour a little on there. Let it really soak in and run it around, because the bottom's where most of the use is. So to do that, bring it up on the sides. Well, here we're looking at the tools we used to make our bowl. And this is the Hunter tool with the nanocarbide round tip used to undercut the rim, which is very important so when you get M&Ms they curl right in your hand. This is a 1/2 inch bowl gouge with an Ellsworth grind which is sloped back on the sides. This is a Badan, sort of a French tool, and it was used to cut the tenon square to the base. And this is a 1/2 inch and 1.5 inch scraper used to smooth out the bottom. As you can see here, good old Johnson's paste wax and a brush on the end of my power drill. And that gives a very nice, durable, final finish. Now the question is, how is the little QR code applied and is it permanent? First of all, I copied it from my computer screen to a Word document, printed it, cut it out, pasted it on a little square of thin cardboard, such as used in cardstock for making greeting cards, and then stuck it on here with rubber cement. Now finally I coated that with a light spray of lacquer, and there you have it. Now at some future time, if a person wanted to, they could just tickle under a corner here with a sharp knife and peel this off, because some will peel, it's not aesthetically pleasing. You know how that goes. But it's as simple as that, and we now have the first wood-turned bowl with a QR code telling the whole story of how it was made. That is a technical breakthrough.